Hello and welcome to the Next Fitness Show. This is Alexis Craig and I am live right now. I'm in California. Today's Friday, it's July 10th, and I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you for showing up to this today. This is going to be great. Our topic for the day today is training for your future self. So that's what we're going to be talking about today is training for your future self. Now, before we get into this, I just want to say for one, please push all the buttons on this video. Push like, the thumbs up button when you first come in. And if you're here live, I can see that we have a bunch of people here live. Already I can see Edie and Megan and Carol and Mom and Kelly. All right, saying happy Friday and hello. Awesome. Okay, if you're here live, please say hi so that I know that you're actually here. Otherwise, you're just a number and I can't actually tell that it's you. All right, awesome. So let's do it. I have some really great announcements today. We're also going to do a stretch halfway through this conversation. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about training for your future self. Now, what does this actually mean? What does it mean to you to train for your future self? I think the most important thing for us to talk about with this is actually to be really clear on who is your future self. So, really getting a chance to meet future you. Who is that? I have to say for myself that this is something I practice with actually all the time. And I will often have conversations with my future self. I will even ask my future self questions and look for wisdom or guidance. I sometimes do it as writing, sometimes I do it in the mirror, sometimes I do it as a video or something like that. And I will often explicitly ask a future self of a specific age. So I'll be like, okay, 90-year-old me, okay, 80-year-old self, okay, 120-year-old self, okay, 65-year-old self, and I will specifically ask future versions of myself for guidance about things, even myself for 2 years from now or something like that. I would be curious to hear, have you ever had an experience of doing something like this, and how did that go for you? I feel like really looking to my future self and looking for guidance is just knowing that I'm going to become more wise over time. So knowing that this future version of myself will have more wisdom to offer me. And also, I would also just say that it's an act of self-love to train for my future self. So it's like this isn't the only reason to work out. A lot of the reasons that I'm working out is for my present day self, right? It makes me happier in the moment right now for me to be having healthy habits. And that said, I know that future me is going to be healthier or happier or more vibrant or have more vitality or whatever the case may be if I can offer future me good behavior now. Good, whatever that means, but right. And I'll even say sometimes I borrow from my future self, right? Like there's times where I have not been taking the best care of myself, and it's like I'm sort of borrowing from my future self and saying, hey, I really need a little bit more support right now. Can you lend me some vitality? That's how I feel about coffee. Cheers. It's like I'm borrowing future energy for present energy. All right. So Kelly says that what it means to her to train for future self is longevity. Yeah, totally. Exactly. And Edie says future self is an old, independent badass. Heck yeah, current self is an independent badass, but yes, your future self is also an independent badass, right? Mom says I've never done this. And Carol says habits developed now will prepare me for aging, right? And it's like we think of aging, I don't know about you. I think of aging as something that happens in the future, but the truth of that is aging happens all constantly, right? It's happening all the time. So, and I honestly, with this, I would even offer that there's also value in going back to you are the future self to some previous versions of you, right? So, in my practice with this, I also, as I'm asking my future self for wisdom, I also am sometimes meditating into my younger self and just offering, like, offering, hey, I know this is really hard right now. I'm here for you, whatever it is that I feel like my younger self could have needed. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to talk really deeply and specifically about what does it look like for you to be looking to your future self and then setting yourself up for that right now. So let's look at that. Okay, so we talked about meeting future you, which basically means you're really defining this future self. And I would encourage you to meditate into this and vision, like maybe even right now, just take a moment right now, maybe close your eyes. And I encourage you to envision yourself. Let's start with 10 years from right now. So just picture the age that you are right now. Project yourself 10 years into the future. And if there's some other number that's more productive for you, then feel free to go there. And just notice, where are you right now? Where are you in the world? Notice, are you outside? Are you inside? What are you up to? Take a moment and look down at your body and notice what your body looks like right now. Notice who you are surrounding yourself with right now. Who are you hanging out with? And just really feel you're going to do something really that you really enjoy today. What is this thing that you really enjoy that you're going to be doing today? Beautiful. Okay, now I invite for you to project yourself even further into the future. We said 10 years last time, and I invite you to project yourself even further, way far forward, as far as you can realistically project yourself. So maybe this is somewhere like you're 100 years old, maybe you're 90, somewhere where you feel like envisioning yourself at this age. Notice where you are right now. Where are you physically? Are you still in your home? Who's around you? Look at your body. Look at your hands, your feet, and just feel yourself moving around a little bit. Notice what it feels like to move around at this age. You're going to do something really fun today. What's the thing you're going to do for fun? And just notice if there's anything else that you want to ask this self at this age, anything else that you want to envision at this time. Good. And then bring it back to right now and let your eyes open. Okay, so you've had at least a little picture of it. Now I invite you to get really specific with your own life, envisioning yourself, future self, and you can envision this. I personally find this valuable. Something like 10 years from now that feels like somewhat tangible, and then the even further version that may or may not feel tangible to you. Okay, so my question for you is, what is it that you want for your future self to be able to do? Do you want to be able to garden? The examples I put up here, you want to be able to garden, you want to be able to travel, you want to be able to play with your grandkids, something like that. or something else. What is it that you want to be able to do? Maybe there's someone else you want to be able to take care of. Maybe there's an adventure that you've been looking forward to your entire life. Maybe you want to be able to live in a specific place. What is it that you want your future self to be doing? And I really invite you to feel into that and to write it down. Writing it down is going to make it more concrete. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to actually make it a reality. And I would invite you that whatever it is that you want your future self to be doing, that you begin now. Now, setting yourself up for being able to do this. Don't wait. Set yourself up to be able to do this starting now. I would love to hear what it is. What do you want your future self to be doing? Drop it down, whether it's in the chat or if it's in the comments. Let me know. I know, like for me, I want to be able to travel. I want to keep being able to play in the snow. I want to be able to go cross country skiing and snowboarding. I want to be able to go snowshoeing. I want to be boating. I want to be bike riding, all of that kind of stuff. And I want to be able to keep doing that stuff forever. Mom says, always attending to tasks in my face. Right. You want to be able to keep taking care and keep being able to be independent and be able to be helpful to those around you. Kelly says, travel and stay active. Yeah, me too. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so I know we talk about this a lot, and I know on some level you probably already know this, but I'm just going to maybe even frame this in a way you may not have been thinking of. Muscle is freedom. Muscle is freedom. So having strength makes you free to do what you want to do. It's not about how skinny you are or what you look like. Being able to be strong is what's going to keep you free to be able to do what you want to do independently, right? So I really encourage you to think of when you are training strength that you are building freedom into your body. You are sustaining freedom and building freedom into your body. And as you do this, I just really encourage you to feel into what kind of things do you always want to be able to do. Now, some of these things are fun. Like, I always want to be able to go snowboarding. I always want to be able to ride my bike. I always want to be able to play with my dog or my grandkids. I always want to be able to play pickleball. Yeah, fun, fun, fun. But there's some things that are much more simple that you might always want to be able to do. I always want to be able to go to the bathroom by myself. What's that going to take to always be able to go to the bathroom by yourself? Well, if you want to be able to use the toilet, you're going to need to be able to squat. That means you need to be able to get down and get back up in order to use a toilet. If you want to be able to cook for yourself, just think about the actions that it takes in your kitchen to be able to cook. I'll say in my kitchen, it takes being able to lift things, carry things. I actually have to walk groceries upstairs. I have to be able to carry a pot of water across the kitchen. I need to be able to balance. I have to reach into a cupboard really low and deep. What does it mean for you? And if there's any other things that you know for yourself, you want to be able to do this independently, drop that in the chat. I want to be able to put my clothes on and take them back off. I want to be able to tie my shoes. I want to be able to put on my bra if I want to wear one. I want to be able to do my own hair and makeup. I want to be able to all of that stuff, right? I want to be able to do that myself. Carol says, stay active and play with my granddaughter. Yeah, exactly. Right? And it's like when you think about playing with your granddaughter, at least when she's little, you want to be able to get on the ground, right? Because she's going to be down on the ground. And so you want to be able to get down on the ground and play with her and sit on the floor and crawl around and all that kind of stuff. Yep, totally. Mom says, cook, crochet, Rhyme all the time. No need to travel or gravel around in strange places. Okay. Edie wants to be able to travel and walk and play and hang with friends. Awesome. Yes, right. So just think about traveling. What does it take to be able to travel? To be able to travel, you need to be able to walk and not just walk forward. You kind of need to be able to like navigate. So you need to be able to walk forward and sideways and twist and be aware of your surroundings. You're going to need to take luggage. So maybe you need to be able to drag it, or you need to carry it, or you need to lift it up. You need, and all of that kind of stuff. You need to also, I can like mom's mentioning crochet. She wants to be able to crochet. That means that she needs to have hand dexterity. She needs to have posture so she's not crocheting like this. She needs to be able to keep eyesight, which you may or may not have control over, but you could do fitness training for your eyes, just saying. We haven't gone very deep into that. Kelly says lift suitcases. Exactly. Edie says drive, right? So drive. So drive actually takes a certain amount of like not only the awareness, but also strength and also agility. Really, driving is like reactive training where you are still, you're able to be agile, you'll be able to respond to stimuli, to notice what's going on and to react quickly. And that is absolutely trainable. Absolutely trainable. Yep. And Edie wants to also be able to get out and in and out of the car with things you bought. Yeah, right. You want to be able to stand up and get back into the car, and you want to be able to like lift your packages, reach across, grab them, carry them, all that stuff. Totally. Yep. So I would offer that all of this takes muscle, right? It also takes other things. So it takes balance, and it takes, we're going to talk about all these things, but training strength is super important. And I know you hear this from me all the time, but I'm not talking about 2 pound weights here. I'm talking about real strength. You want to be able to play with your granddaughter? She's going to keep growing and growing and growing. Before you know it, she's going to be like 25 pounds and still want you to pick her up, you know? So the more that you can be deadlifting that weight now and working up to it, the longer you're going to be able to pick her up. All right, so the next thing I just want to offer you is it's not just muscle, it's also really important to build your bones. And I'm saying bones as a general term, but I'm also talking about everything else, your bones, your connective tissue, your fascia, all of these things. Okay? Because here's the thing, strength is more than muscle. Yes, you want to be able to have the muscle to be able to lift and do all the things we've been talking about. And you also need to have the skeleton to support it. You need to have the structure for your muscles to be able to move. So it's really, really important that you're also taking care of your bones. Now, I know you know this. You're like, I know, I already know this, right? But what does that actually look like? For one, there's definitely dietary considerations, for sure, right? I'm not really the expert to be able to give you all the details of that, but I would just for one thing offer that if you are taking prescription medication that is depleting your bone density, you should know that. And make like do some research if you're taking prescription medication and see how your prescription medication that you're taking affects your bone density because it might be affecting it more than you think. And it's a really important thing for you to know. So I would, for one, say that. And I think that's something that you might not be thinking about. Okay. Um, of course you want to be eating calcium and you want to, support your bones with your diet. You also, but the other thing that I'm just going to say, as far as movement is concerned, the more stress that you can put on your skeleton in a healthy way, within reason, I'm not talking about anything extreme, but stress is actually good for your skeleton. I'm talking about, again, lifting heavy and also impact. Now, I know that we are often saying, oh, keep it low impact. Oh, you want to protect your body, keep it low impact. Keep it, yeah, okay. If you already have an injury that you need to protect, low impact can be really helpful. And at the same time, if you're only doing low impact, then your bones aren't getting impact and your bones are building strength by having to react to impact. So impact is not bad. Impact is actually really good for your bones. You just want to make sure that you're only offering them the impact that the rest of your structure can withstand. It's not usually your bones that are going to be the problem for the impact. It's often alignment, right? So if you have an issue where you're like, no, I need low impact, it's often because maybe your knees or your ankles or your lower back or some part of you doesn't like that impact. And that is probably not your bones. It might be, but it's probably not. It's probably connective tissue. Maybe it's a problem with cartilage, right? So it's important to also keep great alignment and also really, really good health of your connective tissue so that you're able to do impact. And I think for a lot of people as they get older, this is a reframe because I see people that I'm training just opt for low impact all the time because they think I need to protect myself. I'm going low impact. And that may be the best answer. And I I think that they're often not taking into consideration what they're losing by not doing impact. What does impact actually look like? Impact can mean anything as simple as walking has some impact. Anytime you're leaving and returning to a surface, that's impact. So if you're punching something, that's impact, right? If you're stepping, impact. If you're running, it's even higher impact because you're landing harder. If you're jumping, impact. Now, there are some things you can do that mimic impact. So, or maybe it is impact just gentle. For example, vibration. So, using vibration, like I have right here, this vibration ball, and this thing, I don't know if you can tell, but I could probably turn it on. Maybe. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So, this thing's vibrating. And what that does is it creates micro impacts. So if jumping or running is not in the cards for you right now, then something like vibration, whether it's a vibration plate or a ball or a pillow or foam or whatever, vibration can be a way of getting impact that's a little gentler. It's a low risk. It could be a massage gun. Um, but it will allow for your bones to have to fortify themselves against that. Also, heavy loads, like when you're lifting heavy things, you're carrying heavy things, you're holding heavy things, that's going to help you to build strength into your bones. Okay. Edie says, I think once we've had an injury, we get scared of impact. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, here's the thing injuries can happen for a number of reasons, but generally, when it comes to injuries, they happen as the result of a misalignment. Even if it's an injury that happened from falling, or even if it's an injury that happened from, something like it doesn't seem like it's not a repetitive stress injury, obviously, it often still is the result of misalignment. So it means like, maybe your knee, the Q angle, like the angle of your knee compared to your hip and your ankle is off. And so then even though you kind of tripped and hurt your knee, it was because you already had that misalignment. Maybe, you tripped and twisted your ankle. That is actually an indication of misalignment. So it's not just, oh, I tripped my ankle and I rolled it and ouch. Yes. And there is an imbalance of the musculature of your leg already there, so that when you did that, it allowed for your ankle to get twisted. So I would just say the more that you can use injuries as indicators of misalignment and also of muscular imbalance to be able to work on it, consciously work on it, it will help you to be able to withstand impact more and also just be better for injury prevention in the future. Okay. So, moving on. Now, we're talking about all these things already, and I feel like this one's maybe obvious, but balance is crucial, right? So it's really important to be training balance before you need to train balance. If you're noticing that, I'm not going to say it's never too late, it is never too late. But if you're noticing that your balance is more challenging, that means you're already losing it. And so I would offer that it's very helpful to train balance before you think you need to train balance. Keep training your balance. What does it look like to train balance? Yoga is a great way to train balance, but that's not the only way. You could definitely do it in yoga, but you can also do it by practicing locomotion drills. You can practice by doing side shuffle to the right and freeze, side shuffle to the left and freeze, right? Those kinds of things train balance. You can also train balance with normal little things like you're going to pick something off the ground. You're going to try standing on one foot to reach down and pick it off the ground and stand back up with only one foot and let the other foot come up, right? You can also train balance with little things like um, I want it to be low consequence. So if this is not low consequence for you, then this might not be your answer. But like for me, I love walking, treating the curb like the balance beam. I've always liked doing that since I was a really little girl, treating the curb like the balance beam and just like walking the balance beam curve. I love of course, tools like the BOSU are really helpful, and even training anything single leg. Anytime you can train single leg, it's going to help you. So I have a little challenge for you just to bring a little bit more balance in your life, and I encourage you to try this and report back. So today, tonight, before you are going to bed or whatever, whenever this habit arises for you, I challenge you to stand on one foot and brush your teeth. Now, this guy's doing it extra fancy, reaching back and grabbing his toe. But my challenge to you is stand on one foot while you brush your teeth. Now, the beauty of this is you're going to need to do both sides. So I would encourage you, stand on one foot while you brush your teeth with your right hand and then stand on the other foot and brush your teeth with your other hand. So that is a perfect opportunity for you to not only train your balance, but to also train your mind. So we will bring that in right now. Training your brain is a big piece. It's part of training your balance, but training your brain is really, really important to this. And I'm not just talking about crossword puzzles. Crossword puzzles are great, but your physical body, we're calling this your brain. We're really talking about your neurological system. You want to train your physical body to be nimble and to be able to do new things. You want to train it to be able to react to anything going on in the world. So, one of the best ways to do this is dance. Dancing is so good for training your brain, especially if you have to learn choreography, or especially if you're learning new skills, you're learning new moves that you haven't done before, and you have to figure it out. Now, I know these kinds of things can be challenging and maybe even frustrating. You're like, I don't want to try kickboxing. I'm not good at that. I've never even tried that before. The more that you stick to the things you already know, the more your brain is in a rut. The more you try new things that you've never tried before and you're open to being not good at something, it's not about that. It doesn't matter if you're good at it. It's just a matter of trying the thing so that your brain has to try to figure it out. That is going to make you and your future self nimble forever. Well, maybe not forever, but for a long, long time. All right, when's the last time you actually tried something new, something you never really tried before, something that you weren't good at and you just went for it anyway? I'll say for me, what's a good example of that I've done recently? I've been honestly, the thing that I've been learning with this is like gardening, and I didn't realize that gardening in martial arts is there's a lot of similarities actually, but you know, I had pulled weeds before. I had done like little things like that, but I had never used like heavy tools like chopping wood and like okay, I've raked and swept, but like a pickaxe, what is that for? So I'm now getting all of these skills of being able to use these tools, and it's amazingly, I feel like I'm just like this warrior in the outside world, and I can just Yep. Edie says being a team leader. Yeah, that's exactly. You're trying something new. So for Edie, it's like also I would say with that, because Edie has been very courageously teaching new classes. She taught this amazing class this week on feng shui. If you did not check out Edie's class from Wednesday on feng shui yet, I really encourage you to do so. It's called the What's Up Walk, so you can find it in our replay library. But yeah, technology can be a really good way for you to try new things, right? For you to try things that you don't know anything about that you might find intimidating or scary, and you're trying it. And I'm also just encouraging you to do this with your body. Okay, the next one, and this is probably the one I'm the most passionate about, honestly, is get down. Get down, get down. You didn't know that's what they're talking about, but I'm telling you, this is super important. You got to get down on the ground, all the way down on the ground. When was the last time you actually got all the way down on the ground? I'm talking on the ground. Maybe you just did. Maybe, I mean, like for me, I just worked out with TRX. I laid on the ground. I rolled over my belly. I rolled over my back. I flipped all around. But what about you? When's the last time you actually got all the way down on the ground? Is this something that feels safe in your body? Does it feel like, oh, getting all the way in the ground? Are you freaking serious? So, getting on the ground is actually one of the best things that you can do for your future self. Getting on the ground every day is one of the best things. Now, your body's made to do this, right? Your body was built to sleep on the ground, most likely. I mean, what do you think? Maybe you were made to sleep in a tree? Maybe, but probably to sleep on the ground. So our ancestors slept on the ground. They got all the way on the ground every single day. They also cooked dinner on the ground. They prepared tools on the ground. Everything they did was on the ground. There weren't tables. So getting down on the ground is going to make it so that you have access to the ground. If you can get on the ground and get all the way back up, you can live by yourself, basically. If you can't get down on the ground and get back up, that's when it's like it might be in wisdom for you to not live by yourself. Because maybe if you fall, you won't be able to get up, even if you're not hurt. Mom avoids it. I know. No one to help me if my body is not cooperating. That's not true. I'm here right now. But I'll just say, getting down, and there's ways you can do this, right? It doesn't have to be that you're doing burpees, although, of course, I would love for you to do burpees. But like, it might be that you sit on the couch and you slide down until your butt hits the ground. And then that way, when it's time to get up, maybe you can roll over and use the couch to climb yourself back up onto the couch. Something like that. So it doesn't have to mean necessarily you're in the middle of a blank room floor. If you need something to help you to get on the ground, you can come up to a knee, whatever. But my encouragement for you, it's Friday right now, is to sit on the ground this weekend. My challenge to you this weekend is sit on the ground. When's the last time you actually sat on the ground? Instead of sitting on a couch or a chair, sit on the ground. Maybe you can have a picnic. Maybe you're just going to get down there and see what's been collecting itself under the couch. Maybe you're going to clean the kitchen floor. Whatever it is. But I encourage you to get on the ground, sit on the ground this weekend, report back, let me know how it goes. Okay, future self. Okay, this one is the one that I think a lot of these things I think you know, right? You know you need to train balance, you know you need to train muscles, keep your bones happy. This one you might not be thinking about. This is keep your quick. What are we talking about? We're talking about fast twitch muscle fibers. So if you own, I've talked about this on this show before, but if you only train slow, don't get me wrong, I like training slow. You build strength by training slow. Slow is good. And doing things slowly will not build quickness. It'll build strength so that then you can train quickness with your strength. Quickness is important. This is fast twitch fibers. This is reactive. This is the ability to react to stimulus. Okay. So let's say a, a ball is flying at your face. You're able to swat it or move. Let's say someone's running down the sidewalk right at you. You're able to juke out of the way. Or if somebody bumps into you, you're able to kind of like get your bearings instead of tipping over. Right? And this can mean anything. A dog jumps on you. It can mean anything. Fast twitch is really important. And that means reactivity training. Now, training slow and controlled is not reactivity training. So being able to actually train this, what does that look like? It probably looks like doing something where you have to react to something. It looks like it might be like bouncing a ball against a wall and catching it. Playing catch is a great way to do this. This is the reason that I do think pickleball is really valuable. And I know a lot of people don't like pickleball because they're like, oh, why would I play pickleball? Because I might hurt myself going side to side and blah. I get it. I get it. Okay. And the good thing about pickleball is you have to have the ball coming at you and react. That is valuable. This is the kind of thing, even to be able to like blow up balloons, and I don't know, I love playing with balloons and just like keeping the balloon up in the air kind of thing. That's a game you can play with anyone. You can play that with your great grandma and you can play that with your baby. It's a great game and it trains reactivity into your body. So, what does training reactivity look like for you? Fast twitch. Now, fast twitch, you can train without reactivity. So you can train fast twitch by sprinting. You can also train fast twitch by like jumping. Anything that's going to make you have an explosive reaction is training fast twitch. So if you're, I know I was teaching the TRX challenge yesterday. We did squat jumps. So squat jumps would count. Sprinter start would count. Mountain climbers and that kind of things, it counts. But only if you're like pushing it. If you're like mountain climbers, that's not going to do it, right? It's like when you're like ready, go, and you're like, ah! That's, yeah, then fast twitch. So training fast twitch is actually more important than you might think. There we go. Carol played with a beach ball in the pool on 4th of July. Yes, that's perfect. And I love Carol for you that you're going to have his little granddaughter. And it's perfect because you guys get to train fast twitch together. It's actually perfect. That's why it's so good for little kids to be able to hang out with older people at the same time because they both need the same thing. You know, it's like you need to be able, like, she is building her motor learning from scratch, and at the same time you are like maintaining your motor learning and developing new skills. It's perfect. It's so awesome. Okay, so train reactivity. And in general, I mean, that basically sums it up. If there's anything else that you guys can think of that we haven't talked about, I would love to hear it. And I just really encourage you to own your future, to honor your future self, and to really train for the future that you want to have. And to even recognize, like when we're in yoga and we say, hey, what's your intention for this practice? You can even dedicate your practice to your future self. I am here in service to my future self to offer you this practice today. And I mean, maybe every single workout is actually that. I also would just encourage you as you're honoring your future self to once again to recognize that you are the future self to a previous version of you, and to just recognize what you're grateful for. What are you grateful that your younger self has offered to you? I'm so grateful that my younger self had practiced handstands and found it really fun to be training balance challenges. And I'm so grateful that my younger self found TRX. I'm so grateful, like, my younger self really decided to dedicate herself to this wellness journey and to really be present with honoring my body because I'm reaping the rewards for it right now. All right. So, on that note, let's stretch it out. The time has come for a stretch break. Stretch break. All right. Today's stretch break is it is a stretch, and it is also something that you would do in strength training. So, this stretch break is a deep squat. Can you see it? Deep squat. So do it with me if you can. Stand up, maybe come off of your chair and get low into the deepest squat you can. Now I am talking your heels stay on the ground and you get as low as you can. People say like ass to grass. That's what I'm talking about. Get low. How low can you go? I'm going to switch videos just so we can really, really feel into this. Deep, 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 deep squat. I don't know if I actually switched videos. There we go. Super low. Like, make sure your knees point in the same direction as your toes. If you don't have any weight on it, then it's pretty safe for you to get low as long as it doesn't hurt. And then once you get down there and you get really low, I encourage you to stay down there. So get down low into the squat, stay down there. And this is what we call malasana. It's this garland pose. You get down the squat. Now, this girl in this video is really, really low. And if you can do that, great. And if you can't, it's okay. And you kind of let your hips go. We call it scrubbing. You scrub your hips from side to side, letting some adhesions out of your hips. Now, this is a really good way for you. Practicing deep squats is going to make sure that you can get down the toilet and back up. Yes. That's super important, right? You're going to be able to get into chairs and get back up. You're able to get down the toilet and get back up. Whatever you need to do, you're going to be able to get down there. Even if you drop something on the ground, you're going to be able to get down there, grab it, get back up. Even if you can't get quite this low. And moving around once you're down there, it's great for ankle mobility. It's great for hip mobility. It shouldn't hurt, but it's really good to mobilize, even if it's not proper squat form. Like you can see this girl in this video, she caves in, she brings her knees in toward the center, her pinky toes come off the floor, she kind of goes both directions. It's all good. You're not adding weight, you're not adding the 50 pounds to it. So getting down there and just seeing what's possible and feeling it out, it's really good. I personally love doing this with TRX, where I hold on to the straps, and then that way I can get really low, and even if I might be a little nervous, like I might not be able to stand up from getting down that low, I have the straps in my hands. I can pull myself up if I need to. So it really gives you the ability to get lower than you normally would. Whew, excuse me. Okay, from here, it is time for our move of the week. All right, our move of the week this week is one of my favorites, and this is something we do have in our exercise library, but we only have pieces of it and we don't have the whole thing at once. Check it out. This is a Turkish getup. Now, if you've ever actually done this before, you're probably groaning just looking at this right now. But the idea of a Turkish getup is it's the getting all the way down to lie on your back and get all the way up with only using one hand. Now, the idea here, I'm not going to teach this entire thing right now, but man, sorry, I'm yawning. He's pushing the weight up to the sky, and he is committed to pushing the weight up to the sky. You can see that his elbow stays straight and he keeps reaching the weight up to the sky. The idea of this also is to do this without flexing your spine. So it's a way to get off the ground under load without going into spinal flexion. So it's a very safe way to do it. If you can do a Turkish get up, you can definitely get down to the ground and get back up anytime you need to. So I think a Turkish get up is a really, really great goal. And for some people, it'd be a reach goal. And in class, a lot of times we do this kneeling part where you tilt sideways. And in class, sometimes we do this sit up part. And sometimes we do the stand up from your knees part. We do one piece or one piece or one piece. And this is just integrating all the pieces together so you can do it. All right, we have any Turkish get up lovers or haters in here? I'd love to hear it. I love Turkish get-ups. I find them really fun. I find them very challenging. Um, and if you find that move easy, then I would suggest to you, for one, challenge the weight and keep your arm completely straight. And for two, challenge the stability of it. I have a reach goal of being able to do a Turkish get up with the barbell. I don't really need to put any weight on it. 45 is plenty of pound, 45 pounds is probably the heaviest I've ever done a Turkish get up, something around there, 45 pounds. But to be able to hold a big long bar instead of just a little kettlebell, very challenging. So see what's possible. Don't start with the barbell. Start with something, no weight. Start with 5 pounds or less. Um, and we will be going through Turkish get-ups very soon, so be ready for that. All right, it's time for announcements. Let's do it. Okay, our first announcement, I forgot to announce this last week. This one's actually really exciting, and it is by request. So we heard you when you requested this ability, so we are trying it, and it starts tomorrow with a class called Walk and Talk. Now, you asked, you said, I want to be able to unmute myself in class and actually talk to my teammates instead of having to type. Okay, so this is our chance to try it. This class is tomorrow. It is Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific with Kathy, and this is your chance to walk and talk. Kathy will be facilitating it, and it's going to be challenging to facilitate this. I'll tell you right now. That's why we haven't done this yet. But I do think all of you guys are kind and courteous and awesome, so it'll be fun. And we're just going to be developing best practices about what does it actually look like to do a good job of letting everybody unmute themselves if they want to in class. My suggestion for this class is to start muted and only unmute yourself when you have something to say. But do what you want. We'll see how it goes. Walk and Talk 25 is tomorrow, Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific. All right, our next announcement is True Crime Walk. This one is on Sunday, and it is with Edie, who is here with us right now in the show. Edie, we're so excited for this. It is at 1 p.m. Pacific on Sunday with Edie. And if you want to sign up for this, if you're not a member of the Next Fitness Thing, you can go to thenextfitnessthing.com/truecrime and you can sign up. Okay, our next announcement is our community event is not this weekend, but the following weekend on July 18th is our Barefoot Season Walk. So this is your chance to practice walking with less supportive footwear than usual. Maybe that means walking barefoot. Maybe that means that you usually wear very supportive shoes and you're going to wear some less supportive shoes than you normally would. Maybe it means walking in your grippy socks or whatever. Maybe for you, you're going to focus on grounding and you're going to go and find somewhere really lush with sweet grass and you're just going to walk slowly in the sweet grass. So see what's possible. I'm excited to do this with you. This is the 18th. Okay. And our next challenge is up for signups. This is the Miles and Muscle Challenge. If you've been relating to the things that we've been talking about here with honoring your future self, this challenge is for you. This challenge is a mix. It's called hybrid training, which is all the rage in fitness right now. That means that it's a hybrid between walking, running, and strength training. So we are going to do walk, stop, do some strength training, walk, stop, do some cardio drills, that kind of thing. Each class has a different theme. You will only be asked to put your hands on the ground 1 day a week in the class called ground control. You will not be asked to lie on your back at all in that whole challenge. So that if you want to go outside, as long as you have somewhere you can put your hands down or gloves or something, you're good. You will be fine. One of these days is locomotion drill. So it's like side to side and grapevines and skipping and all that kind of stuff. So this challenge is going to be very fun. It also has music themes that go along with it. So it's 2 weeks, Monday through Thursday. Sign up now at thenextfitnessthing.com/miles and muscle. All right, our next announcement is the Walking Book Club. This is the final weekend, final Sunday of July. I'm leading this one. It's Grandma Gatewood's Walk, which is about a grandma who walked the entire Appalachian Trail and saved it in the process. So check it out. This is our first time for the Walking Book Club of doing like a biography, I think. So I'm excited for this and I hope that you like it. Nextfitnessthing.com/book club has the info. Oh, and I forgot to tell you what next month's book club is, but we have a really exciting book club for next month and I will tell you that next week on the show. Okay. And today was the debut of Melissa's new classes. I was there. It was epic. I really encourage you to go. The recordings are up on replay, so if you want to check it out, you can. If you weren't there at 6 a.m. Pacific this morning, there is bar none and walking and rocking. I guess I put these times backwards. Bar none was first and walking and rocking was second. You don't need equipment for either one of these. They are music driven. Melissa works out with you and they were super fun. So I encourage you to go check them out and to go live to Melissa's class. Great job, Melissa. They were fantastic. All right. And if you're not in our Discord server, get in there. It's fun. That's where we can connect outside of class. We have all different channels for all different topics. And especially if you didn't put your goals for the month of July, go in there and put your goals on the Goals Walk channel. And guess what? That brings us to the end of this show. So go honor your future self. Move your body. Enjoy. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for being here with me. If you have anyone who you want to be my guest on the show in the future, send them my way. If you have questions for the mailbag, send them to tnft@thenextfitnessthing.com. And I love you guys. Thanks for